tried on different feathers. And what I can do here is I can go, well, let me give you one example. And this is where sometimes I can do this. We could say first, and then you could actually, this is just noting it down. We're actually not writing it in. So I can start off by saying he put it on for the cardinal, and then he did the robin, and then I think he did the goldfinch, right? And then the eagle. Then we're just going to say dirty, old feather. He ended up with a feather he did not want, so this one would just be a detail. And we could just say he ended with the dirty old feather. And pretty much that's it. So you think about it, this one is a minor detail of this one. The B is a detail of 2. C is a detail of 3, and D is a detail of 4. This is just forcing us to think a little bit more specifically, okay? All right, the most important thing now here is to create our first response question. So the question here was explain the problems buzzer experiences. What do you think would be a nice topic sentence for our paragraph? Actually, not paragraph, I'm sorry, in our reading response. So if I go right here, I'll make this smaller now. I haven't gotten you guys dizzy by now. Good. 200. Go back right here, go back on top. Now use the notes from your plan. This is all notes to write our 3 paragraph, okay? So the first thing we need is a topic sentence that responds to this. The topic sentence usually is our first sentence that tells the main idea of what we're writing about. And in this case, it's how we're responding to the question. The question is his problems. So what I would probably suggest doing is that, and I'll put this in red. And I usually like to tell, in particularly for ELA tests, it's great to tell the person what you're reading, what you're talking about, okay? So, in the folktale, and what was the name of the folktale? Let's go back on top. And just for me, I'm just gonna cut and paste it because it's easier to write it. So in the folktale, How the Birds Got the Feathers and Give Credit to Your Author by Joseph Pritchard. Who's the character? Buzzard experienced it several problems during his journey to Skyland. Okay, so let's stop there for a second. Does this answer our question? Does the topic sentence answer the question? Are we talking about the folktale? What folktale we're talking about? Are we telling the reader that we're going to talk about the problems that Buzzard experiences? So look at the sentence that we did right here, and I'm going to change that to red. Any thoughts about it? Does it tell us what we're telling the reader? And I'm just going to just check for your understanding. There's a lot of talking here. Chen-Wei, I need you to be part of this class, and if you're not, it's almost like you sitting in the classroom and just ignoring me right now. So I need you to, yeah, it just like how you guys sit in a classroom, you're paying attention, okay? Thank you. Maggie, check for your understanding, Maggie. Do you think this is an okay topic sentence that we have here? Okay. So Maggie says yes. And there's different ways to write a topic sentence. The only thing I suggest here is because I'm just repeating the question. Remember, repeat, answer, detail, detail. So I'm repeating the question here. I'm telling the person that we are talking about folktale. This is the title, this is the author, and what are we answering? That he did experience several problems during his journey. So I can really think of how to break this up. I can maybe write, since I'm asked to write 3 paragraphs, I might want to first maybe I can decide to put these 2 together, right? Because it is about his journey flying to Skyland and how he had a problem about getting hungry and how he burned his head. I could pretty much pick another paragraph and talk about his problem about choosing the feathers and how he went one to another. And the last problem could be that he ended up with the feather he didn't want. Okay? So this is where we can go ahead and write the response. And a great way to probably sequence this is starting first the problem, the next problem, and I know this was a problem because in the story, in the passage, it said that, and then you're going to tell them what is it that you read. All right? So I'm just going to maybe then model 1 or 2 examples, and then I'm going to then share this document with you where you're going to be able to finish writing the 3 paragraph response. Okay, so I'm starting it off with you, and then you finish it up. So again, in the folktale, How the Birds Got the Feathers by Joseph Bartosz, Buzzer experienced several problems during his first journey. The first, we can say, first, he experienced some problems as he was flying to, first he experienced some problems as he was flying to Skylard. Okay, so I'm going to tell about the experience he had when he was flying to Skylard. At one point, he was so hungry, and I'm just going to go back to my notes here because this is not something I kind of did not think about. He said that he was so hungry he ended up eating rotten fish. So this is where I take that detail, and I can, just for my ease, I'm going to type it right here. Oops. Sorry. I'm just going to retype it. He ended so hungry he ate rotten fish. Now, how do you know that? Give a detail. Remember? What detail can I use? So I went back to my detail right here, and I can say he ate rotten fish he saw by the side of the lake. So I can say in the passage, it said that he saw, that he looked down from the sky. He looked down from the sky and saw rotten fish by the side of the lake. He flew down and ate the rotten fish. Okay, there are many ways to write this. One of the things I'm really doing here is first telling what the first problem is. And if you kind of think about it, this is a little bit like what we've been working on, right? Answering one question, giving a detail, right? And then giving a specific detail here. And the great thing about this is that it's telling the person who's checking our test, what are we doing? We're telling them that I didn't make this up. I actually got this detail from the passage, and I read it, I understood it, and I'm retelling it. Okay? And then we'll go to the next problem. The next problem, oh, nope, there's another problem here. He burned the top of his head. And then we can add on to it. So we just say, over here was at one point, we just say, at another point, during his journey to Skyland, he what? What happened to him? He burned his head. How? What happened? Tell a detail, right? So in the passage, it said that, so you're constantly referring back to the passage. For example, according to the passage, all right? So anyone who reads this response will go, you understand what you read. Does this kind of make sense, guys? I'm sure you guys have been working on this in school already. It's not entirely something new. Some people are breaking yawns now because I've been talking and doing all the work. Now the fun part is you're doing it now. Okay? So in about 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to share this document with you and I'm going to ask you to finish it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one thing, and it's going to involve you guys to do something, a little bit of a, what we call the Google sharing thing. So I'm going to highlight this whole thing up to this point. Copy. I'm going to go to a 4th grade document. I'm going to go new. And I'm going to name this, give me a second. Actually, I'm going to go to my document. I'm going to go to different one. Yep, I'm going to go here. New document. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. I'm going to share my entire screen so you see what I'm doing. All right, this is part where you guys have to follow instructions because I'm going to ask you guys to make a copy of this document, finish the writing, and send it to me, okay? All right, sharing my screen now. I'm going to go to a new document. I'm going to paste this